Hello, my beautiful friends. I am Laurel Bleadon-Maffei with Illuminating Souls, welcoming you to this episode of Sleepy Bedtime Blessings, a podcast designed to help you rest, relax, and fall asleep, all while deepening in your connection with your beautiful team of angels who love you so. I am an angelic practitioner, a spiritual teacher, and an encourager of souls. And I am just so blessed. I love the work that I get to do, and it comes in a couple of different forms. I offer one-on-one angel sessions, which are 1 hour, and they take place over Zoom. And we connect and we talk, and I bring forward angel messages for you, and my intention is always to help you connect with your divine guidance. And then I also offer a longer form of support, soul mentoring, and then I offer a variety of classes designed to inspire your spirit. And I almost always have a new class coming up every 6 weeks or so. They're always small in size, so if you are seeking a supportive, intimate, wonderful, inspiring class where you will be supported and loved and uplifted, I invite you to visit my website at illuminatingsouls.com, where you can also sign up for my mailing list. And I actually have 2 different mailing lists at the top of the page. You can sign up for my general list, and you'll get all my announcements. And further down on the page, you can sign up for my daily inspiration email blast, and you'll receive an inspiring email from me every weekday. And most days I post to Facebook as well. So lots of ways we can connect. But for now, the angels and I are here to bring you a sweet and sacred space where you can replenish, relax, and feel the love of your angels. If you are a regular listener, thank you so much for listening. And it would be wonderful if you would consider leaving a review or a rating on iTunes or your favorite podcast app, or sharing this podcast with a friend, because we are growing by word of mouth. And thank you so much for listening. I never know who is on the other end of this broadcast. And if you're new here, I hope that you enjoy this episode. I want to start off just by acknowledging that I have been posting quite a few replays lately. Everything's okay. I've just been unplugged. The word that comes forward is doldrums, but I think sometimes the term doldrums might be construed as depression, and that's not at all how I mean it. My reference point for doldrums, as I'm referring to them, came from a book. And in the book, the characters are out in the middle of the ocean, somewhere around the equator, I think. And there's absolutely no wind. And there's no current. And this was before motors and engines and things like that. I think they were on a big old sailboat. Perhaps it was a historical novel. I don't even remember which one it was, but they were just in the stillness and there was no movement to be had. And that's how I feel right now with the doldrums. I'm not depressed. I'm just unplugged, which is very apropos for Mercury retrograde. And I feel like I don't have a lot of fire energy right now. I really don't want to do anything. I love not doing anything. You know how some people always want to be busy and going and doing things? I don't want to do anything. I am so contented to sit on my couch and read or watch videos or hang out. And so it's not that I haven't recorded new material because I've been so busy with other things. I've been in the sweet space of unplugging. But I promised myself I was going to record this episode for you because I'm afraid if I don't record a new episode, you'll think that I have abandoned this space. Not that you're really going to think that, but you know what I mean. I felt like, I needed to show up here a little bit. And even as I record this, it is late morning. And for those of you that are regular listeners, you know that I love to record first thing in the morning when the world is quiet, and I haven't been doing that. So I just made myself come to my office and plug in the microphone. And I'm like, Laurel, just do it. You'll feel so much better afterwards. And I don't mean to sound like it's drudgery. I really do love recording these episodes for you. I just have had no oomph. My mom used to say that. She's like, I just have no oomph. It's a very Phyllis Bleadon thing to say. So in honor of my mom, I will say, I just have no oomph. I'm just very contented to be. And I think of how blessed I am that I have a life that allows me to be in the quiet when the quiet comes to call. Over the years, I have learned that if I allow myself to follow my flow, there are moments of quiet, and then the creation energy always returns. And it doesn't return just because I will it to be so. It returns because it shows up. And I get all excited again. And I am ready to be productive and be a part of the world. I was just thinking I haven't driven my car since Tuesday. It's Friday now. I mean, that might not sound unusual to you, but I usually go out a few times during the week, and I've had plenty of time to go do something. But I kind of, look out my periphery at the world and I think, yeah, I'm good here. I don't think I need to be out and do anything. Sure, I could go shopping. I could go somewhere. And I think, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm so good just being home. I have everything I need right here. And so that's the kind of energy I'm in, and I have no idea when you're going to be listening to this. Maybe you'll listen to it the day it's published. Maybe you will be listening 3 years after I've recorded it. And so I don't know if this quiet energy will still be around by that point. Hopefully not. But at some point you likely will experience this. So hopefully my reflecting on this transit will ultimately be helpful for you. And so if you are new to this podcast, it is a sleep podcast, and you're welcome to listen to it at any time because many people listen during the daytime when they are awake. I love listening to sleep podcasts as I drift off to sleep, and that's ultimately what inspired me to create this. Presently, I just started listening to a new to me sleep podcast called Night Falls. And there was an episode about a cat cafe. And I thought, hey, I want to hear a story about a cat cafe. And because I'm listening to it as a sleep podcast, I kept falling asleep. And I never did really get to the part about the cat cafe. And then I started listening again at 4 o'clock this morning before it was time to wake up. And I don't know that there were really cats involved. It got to the end of the story and then it was quiet for like 20 minutes. And so I don't know if I didn't download the episode correctly, or maybe this podcast just gives you 20 minutes of silence at the end of an episode. I don't really know. But I'm intrigued, so I will likely listen to it again tonight. And so the angels are here. They're always here, and I love sharing them with you. So how would it be if I invite you to get comfortable and to cozy on up and snuggle on in? I'm very cozy right now. I'm wearing a big fleecy sweatshirt, and I feel very, very cozy. So I will share these cozy vibes with you, and to get comfortable in whatever way works best for you. And I will call the angels in. They're already here, but I love sharing the ritual with you. So let's take another breath in and out as we gently call ourselves forward into the heart of God. And beautiful angels on high, I invite you to join us here, and I am so grateful for the opportunity to come together in service to our beloveds. And angels, I ask that you infuse this broadcast with waves of love and goodness and healing and light, paving our path with grace and ease and inspiration and goodness. So dear ones, just take another breath in, allowing this love to meet you where you are. And there is this sweet, gentle energy and flow for each one of you. And just a sweet reminder that the angels know what is transpiring for you. And so they are bringing you an elixir of love so that you feel more connected and supported. That in this moment the angels will do the heavy lifting for you. So whatever prayers or intentions you would like to share with your angels, I invite you to bring them forward into your heart now. You can bring them forward at any time, but I think sometimes it's nice to be invited into sacred space to share our prayers. So just go into your heart and let the angels and God know how they can support you. And again, just breathe and get comfortable. The angels are filling the space you are in with a beautiful, soft, pink light that has been calibrated just for you. And this light is traveling to your physical body and your emotional body, to your mind and spirit, to help clear from you anything that is not yours and anything that is not serving your highest and best good. And so just breathe as the angels help you connect with even more of the beauty of your soul, the wisdom of your heart. There is so much goodness for you here in this world. To do your best not to acquiesce to all the dramatic shadow energy that is circulating right now in the world. That you need not bring yourself in alignment with it. You can acknowledge it in awareness that it exists, and then you can choose into brighter frequencies. Because it is by choosing into the brighter frequencies that we receive more sustenance. Right now, as I record this, it is a sunny day and the sky is blue with little wisps of almost white clouds. And there is so much green outside of my window. Our next door neighbor is an avid gardener, and so he has lots of trees in his yard and ivy crawling over the redwood fence. And there are so many shades of green and there's a light breeze, just very gentle, that brings a sense of life to everything. And it is so peaceful and inviting. And so I share this with you, and outside in our backyard, our apple tree has blossoms on it. There's an orchid that has the deepest purple blooms. My husband is growing tomato plants from seeds, and quite a few of them have sprouted. They're teeny tiny plants, but give them a few months and they will be producing so many delicious tomatoes. We have some volunteer carrots in our yard. And so as I look outside my window, I see life. Beautiful, beautiful life. And I want to share this energy with you, whether you're getting ready to drift off to sleep, whether you're going for a walk, whether you're just sitting quietly. I share the beauty of this moment with you. And I'm so deeply grateful for you. You are precious in this world. And there are wonderful, beautiful adventures that are making their way to you. So if you are feeling the quiet like I am, just let it be okay. Let the quiet replenish you. You do not have to battle your way out of the quiet. The quiet is here to replenish you. And when you're ready, life will invite you in the most wonderful of ways. This I affirm. So, my beautiful friend, I invite you to drift off to sleep if that is your intention, or to focus on whatever is at hand if you are in your waking hours. And your angels will stay with you, and I'm going to move us into story time. And for story time, I knew that this had to be easy because my energy is so quiet, and I have lots of things I could read to you. I owe you a second part of a TV guide I started, last month, I think, that had the Beverly Hillbillies on it from 1963. But I'm not going to do that one. And I have some new cookbooks that are old cookbooks, but we're not going to do that one either. And what I am going to do is I'm going to just ramble. This is going to be a rambly episode of randoms, because this is the easiest kind of episode for me to record. And the container I'm going to put around it is what I'm calling seeds of delight. And this phrase is coming out of my Blossoming Open class that I am presently facilitating. I had just a very delightful experience earlier this week, and I called it, it's a seed of delight, which of course delights me. I love the word delightful, delight, sort of that whole vibration. So I'm going to share with you some things that are delighting me right now. And maybe I'll share with you some things that are not delighting me as well. Because come on, right? Heaven and earth. I can also be very earthly. Okay, so the first one I want to share with you delighted me so much. And it really exists, and I'm not making fun of it. I want you to know this is not me being facetious in any way. But a friend of mine told me that there is such a thing as Jesus Band-Aids. Bandages. It's not from the Band-Aid company, so they would be considered adhesive bandages. And I said, no, they can't exist. And she said, they do. And I went to Amazon and I put in Jesus bandages, and they're adorable. They come in a little tin box. Do you guys remember when Band-Aids came in a little tin box with the lid you flip up? So they come in that kind of box. It's an orange box. And they have a little, very sweet, adorable cartoon of Jesus on the tin and on the bandages. And they say words like Jesus heals. They're adorable. I laughed for like 10 minutes because I was so utterly delighted by these. Now, as someone raised Jewish, I don't know that I am the core audience for the Jesus bandages, but I have been thinking about all of my Christian friends and who can I send these to because they're wonderful. I mean, what a great idea. If we're going to wear bandages, let's wear things that inspire us and make us happy. So I don't know that I could wear one myself, even though I'm tempted, but perhaps you can. So I'm just saying, go ahead, go onto Amazon and look up Jesus bandages, and they're delightful. So that's one of the things that delighted me this week. Another thing that I want to share with you that delights me, another seed of delight, is I have fallen in love with truck stops. Totally incongruent, right? From Jesus bandages to truck stops. But let me explain. So, every once in a while, my husband and I have to take a long drive. We just recently drove to and from Oregon, which is a 10-hour drive. And in the past, we would always stop at a gas station and a McDonald's. So you gas up at the gas station and then you go to the bathroom at the McDonald's and you get a hamburger while you're there, or a breakfast sandwich or McNuggets or something. Well, I was watching TikTok because that's what I do. And someone was talking about how wonderful truck stops were. And I thought, I wouldn't have thought about stopping at a truck stop. So last year, I had to drive down to Palm Desert. Well, I wanted to drive down there to see my sister who was vacationing. And I was driving on my own, and I looked up the truck stops. So two of the big chains, which you may already know already. I'm new to this party. One is Pilot, and the other is Love's. And maybe there's more, I'm sure there are, but those were the two that I knew about. And so as I was stopping to gas up, I stopped at a Pilot. And they're wonderful. They're fantastic. They're clean. They're big. The bathrooms are magnificent. I mean, listen, it is a truck stop bathroom, but I mean, they're clean. They're well stocked. They're light. They're safe. They have a ton of food and beverages. They have hot food, cold food, snacks, protein bars, chocolate. Like, they've got everything. And once I went to a Pilot, I was sold. So that's all I did on the way back and forth to Palm Desert last year. And then about a week later, my husband and I had to drive back and forth to Portland. So truck stops all the way. And so now my husband is sold on the truck stop strategy. And so last week we had to drive back and forth to Oregon and hit up the truck stops. And again, they were just wonderful. I don't know why that delights me, a seed of delight. I think it comes from thinking that my only option were McDonald's bathrooms and gas station bathrooms, which I'm not really a fan of. So that I could go into a really nicely kept truck stop for a bathroom break and a beverage delights me. should I give you something that doesn't delight me yet? Maybe I will, because it's part of the story of gas stations and McDonald's. So at one point on the drive home, we actually couldn't find a truck stop. So we pulled off in this little town, which will remain nameless. I know what it is. I'm just not going to give it a shout out. Go into the McDonald's, and at the counter, they actually have to buzz you into the bathroom. Like a bank or a pawn shop or something. And they go to buzz me in, and the woman says to me, "You can't take your purse in." I have this little purse. I said, "What are you talking about?" She says, "You can't take your bag into the bathroom." I was like, "You've got to be kidding me." Apparently they have trouble with druggies or somebody using their bathrooms. So Wes held my purse, but I thought, yeah, truck stops. Truck stops are the way to go. So yay for truck stops. Okay, third seed of delight. So I guess a little bit more about our trip, and again, maybe something that wasn't so delightful. So again, remember, a sleep podcast, rambling, bar low. The bar's low. I'm really not I'm clear that this might not be entertaining for you. I'm just really trying to ramble with you and keep you company for another 30 minutes or so. So this is what I got for you. So usually when we're driving up to Oregon, my preference and Wes's preference is to leave super early in the morning, like 5 a.m., and drive straight through in hopes that we're going to get there between 3 and 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It's a long day. But Wes had work last Thursday, so we actually left later, and our plan was to stop midway and get a hotel room and then get up the next morning and do the rest of the drive. So again, a little town in Oregon, which will remain nameless. It's not the same town as the McDonald's I just told you about. We've stayed there before. Not really impressed. And so I just got us a little hotel room. You know, there's not lots of options there, and not a good hotel room. It was fine. There's no horrible story about it, but kind of depressing, not terribly comfortable. And all I wanted to do was come home, because I don't like to travel. If you listen to the podcast, you know I'm not big on spending the night away from home. So that was kind of depressing. But here's where we get to the seed of delight. So we're going to Washington. I keep saying Oregon because I keep thinking of it as Portland, but we were visiting family up in Vancouver, which is right across the bridge from Portland. And so I was just looking at different hotels and trying to get a good rate. And I booked a reservation at a chain which you may have heard of, but was new to me. It's not a new chain. It was just a new to me chain called Sonesta Suites. Have you heard of them before or stayed with them? It's Sonesta. Sonesta Suite. There's a whole corporate group of hotels under the Sonesta family name, and this one was at a Sonesta ES. And we were able to get a 1-bedroom suite with a kitchen. And here's something I didn't know, that their corporate values include kindness, helpfulness, happiness, because every single person who worked there that we met was so helpful and kind. It was amazing. The suite was beautiful, clean, well stocked, bed, pillows, so comfortable. And so we had this lovely suite. I think it was $130 a night. So I don't want you to think, I was spending $500 a night for a suite. That's what we would pay for a regular hotel room. And it was so nice. At one point, I came out of my room. I was looking for the ice maker. And I saw a maintenance man walking by. And I asked him, where the ice maker was. He said, "Oh, it's actually in your freezer. Just flip down the lever. But it's going to take a while to create ice." He says, "If you want ice right now, I'll go get you a bag." And I said, "Well, that would be great." And he told me his name. He went and got me a bag of ice, and he could not have been nicer about it. I know that sounds like a little thing, but I was just made to feel so welcome there. And so we were able to nest, and I went and got some groceries. And so now whenever I have to travel and get a hotel, I'm going to check to see if there's a siesta where I'm going, because I am a customer for life now. If all the siestas are like that, I'm a loyal customer. It was a fantastic experience, and I will definitely return. So one hotel that wasn't great, but then siesta made up for it. So let's see what else I can ramble to you about. I'm presently obsessed with a certain kind of yarn. If you listen to this podcast, you will know that I crochet. And probably in September, August, maybe September, I came across this yarn at Michael's that was being discontinued. It was on clearance. And it's from their Loops and Thread brand, and it's a marled yarn, which means that it's kind of multiple colors woven into a single strand. So it has an interesting texture, and it was a bulky yarn, and I love working with bulky yarns because they tend to crochet up more quickly. I make blankets. I'm sorry, there's some sort of aircraft going over, but I'm going to just keep going as long as I'm on a roll. So the skeins, unfortunately, are not that big. So I think there's maybe 120 feet in a skein, so I would need a lot of them. And so I wound up driving to 4 different Michaels to get enough skeins to make 2 blankets. And I loved working with this yarn. I loved it. I have 2 blankets now, and they're really heavy and warm. And Michael's, as it turns out, is now selling this yarn again, but only online. And it's expensive. So I purchased it back several months ago for $2.99 a skein. Michael's online is now selling it for $7.99 a skein. Huge price difference. So I am watching this yarn like a hawk. I'm combining coupons. I'm trying to figure out how to get the skeins that I need of this yarn to make another blanket. I don't even know who these blankets are for. I just like working with this yarn. And right now I think I have it at $91, but that seems like a ridiculous price, especially because I was able to buy it for half that before. So it's a seed of delight with kind of a pin in it because I have not yet made the purchase. Now, I get a little ridiculous about price shopping things. At the end of the day, in terms of my time and energy, I should probably just go and buy it and just say, okay, that's what it costs, I'll get it. But, I'm kind of like a TJ Maxx and Marshalls, and, I'm a bargain shopper. And so I'm still waiting to see if I can get it at a lower price. So kind of a seed of delight, and also a bit of a, I don't know, doldrummy kind of energy. So that's going on. I already told you about our gardens. I have a list. So I'm so excited about our future tomatoes that Wes is growing for us. Last year we had the most amazing tomato garden. One of the varieties that we grew, I don't know, we call them millions or thousands. I don't know that that's actually their name. They are like mini, teeny tiny tomatoes. So imagine a good sized bead that you might make with jewelry, and that's how big the tomatoes are. And they taste like sugar. So if a tomato was a piece of candy, but a tomato, that's what these taste like. They are amazing. You've never tasted anything like this before. And I bought the plants at the grocery outlet of all places, which is a bargain grocery store here in Northern California. I think maybe they have them in Southern California. I mean, there's in other places too, but I don't know how far they go. But grocery outlet, if you know, you know. And so Wes, avid gardener that he is, extracted seeds from some of the tomatoes from last year, and he's propagated them. I love that I can say that word, propagate. So we have 4 of the plants that are teeny tiny seedlings now, and I am really hopeful I can come to you in a few months and say we have a bountiful supply of these delightful tomato delicacies. And then there are other kinds of tomatoes as well. And our blackberry bush has buds on it, so that's going to be a source of deliciousness. And summer fruit season is just a few months away, and I love summer fruit season. So lots of goodness. Speaking of fruit, seeds of delight, I actually tasted my first dragon fruit about 10 days ago. Delicious. And I've heard they're very high in fiber and help keep you regular. Isn't that a good thing too? So I just bought my second ever dragon fruit from Whole Foods earlier this week. I'm letting it ripen up a little bit before I dig into it. I also got some amazingly sweet green grapes. They're kind of like the autumn crisp, but better. And you're probably thinking, which you're really not giving any thought to my choice of grapes, but I'm just saying in conversational tone that if I like sweet green grapes, then I must love the cotton candy grapes, right? No, don't like them. Don't like them. I do not want to eat a grape that tastes like cotton candy. It confuses me. So, because you'd think I would be the target audience for cotton candy grapes, but I don't like them at all. But I did get these amazingly delicious green grapes that are in my refrigerator right now. So, yay for those. Some springtime fruit that is delicious. So, let's see, what else can I give you for seeds of delight? I might go into some food stuff here. I am in love with Javi coffee concentrate. Have any of their ads come across your social media? It's Javy, Javi coffee concentrate. In a little bottle, there are 30 servings, and a serving is a teaspoon. And so a teaspoon goes into 6 to 8 ounces of water or your smoothie or something. And there are multiple flavors of Javi coffee, and they have a decaf one because I only drink decaf after 11 o'clock in the morning. So in the mornings recently, I've been getting up and taking this really beautiful mug that I had made from one of my mid-journey designs that I am at some point going to put up for sale in my future Etsy store, but I'm not there yet. Doldrums and all that jazz. So I take some hot water from our hot water dispenser. I put in my French vanilla Javi, a little bit of creamer. It is so delicious. And so I'm really loving morning coffee as I get started with my day. I know a lot of you drink coffee and you might think that what's so special about that, but I'm just in love with the ease of the Javi. So, yay for Javi if you're looking for a very easy way to add coffee to your smoothie, or if you're making up a Ninja Creamy concoction or something like that. They absolutely get 2 thumbs up from me. In other food news, there is a Chinese restaurant that has been here forever in American Canyon. It's one of those Chinese restaurants that have the steam table, where all the dishes are already made and they give you a styrofoam container and you get rice or chow mein and then a couple of entrees. And I think I must have eaten there, I don't know, back in 2008 or 9 and never went back because it's just not my food up until now. And I don't know what was happening, but about 2 weeks ago, I was shopping at the Safeway in that little strip mall. And I thought, what sounds so good right now is Chinese food. And Wes and I never order Chinese food, that's just not our food usually. But every once in a while, right? And so I went into this particular restaurant and got a combo box. It was some of the best Chinese food I've had in a long time. I'm not saying it's fine dining Chinese food, but it's really good steam table Chinese food. And now I'm kind of obsessed. Obsessed meaning I want it about once a week. I'm already thinking at some point this weekend, there is a combo box in our future because it's filled with so much food, Wes and I can easily share it. So I'm loving this particular local Chinese restaurant. So shout out for them. I'm just amusing myself. This is the weirdest mashup of things I think I've ever shared on an episode. Let's see, what else can I share with you about? Shall we keep talking about food? Another thing I'm kind of obsessed with are Hu chocolate. Do you know about Hu? H-U? Hu chocolate. It is sweetened with coconut sugar. So I don't eat refined sugar anymore because it activates a sugar addiction in me. It's not that I can't have things that have sugars in it. I just stay away from things where refined sugar is the primary driver, because then that is a catalyst for a pretty significant addictive response in me. So the Hu chocolate and other chocolates that are sweetened with coconut sugar or maple sugar, I can have a little bit and not feel like I have to eat my way down the candy aisle at Target. So I love Hu chocolate, and I found they have these little, I think they call them snacking gems. They're just like these little morsels of chocolate, and they have just plain chocolate. They have minty chocolate, and then they have salty chocolate. Have you had salty chocolate yet? It is so delicious. So for the road trip, because I was doing all the driving and I needed to stay awake, in addition to things that have caffeine in them, I had my Hu salty gems. delicious. Wes thought they were disgusting. He had one and he had to spit it out. I don't know if he spit it out. He spit out my fake Swedish fish candy, which he did not like. I'm trying all these kinds of different candies that don't ever find sugar, and he's not a fan. But he did not like the Who salty gems, which I love. They're awesome. So there's that going on. And I don't know that I have a lot more on the food side. Oh, I'm very much into the Alani new, I think it is, protein shakes. So if anyone is looking for a new protein shake, I love the Alani brand now. And I mix that up with a little bit of milk and maybe some of my decaf Javi coffee. And I have an iced protein decaf coffee drink in the afternoon, which I love. And one more thing, food-wise, maybe there'll be two, I don't know, but for sure one more I can share with you is, have you yet discovered Olipop soda? O-L-I, Ollie, P-O-P, Olipop, 1L. It's in the refrigerator section at like Whole Foods, or they have it at Walmart by the kombucha. And they're a prebiotic soda. So that's 45 calories, and it has, I think, 8 or 9 grams of fiber. I'm at a stage in my life where fiber is my friend. And they have it in grape flavor. I love the grape flavor Olipop. So on the days that I am not having my protein shake Alani coffee, decaf, I will have an Olipop. I can't really do both in the same day because that's a lot of volume, but it's an either or. I kind of choose which one I'm going to have. So definitely recommend the Alani protein shakes and Olipop soda and Who salty gems. And if you're in our neighborhood, I think it's Peking Express in American Canyon next to the Safeway. Really good. And there you go. Some food stuff for you. Isn't that weird how all things come back to food for me? I mean, it's really not weird. It's how I live my life. But one thing that we'll be talking about in this podcast at some point will be food. It's about to be Passover. And so there's lots of matzah around in the stores and macaroons, not to be confused with a macaron. Macarons are delicious. Macaroons, not as much. But because of Passover, they get a pass. And what else can I share with you? I am crocheting a blanket. And it's really pretty. I don't know who it's for. I'm trying to get back into reading books. I haven't been reading books. I've been listening to audiobooks. I love audiobooks. I didn't know that audiobooks were kind of performed. It's not just somebody reading. They're acting the book in many ways. And if you go to any audiobook forum, like on Reddit or something, most people who talk about such things all agree that Project Hail Mary is one of the best audiobooks available. It's a book written by Andy Weir, who wrote the book The Martian, if you remember the movie with Matt Damon. And Project Hail Mary is his most recent book. And it is narrated by Ray Porter. And if you go into, for instance, the Audible group on Reddit, and someone says, what should I start with? Everybody goes Hail Mary. But then you're going to be spoiled because it is pretty much the best audiobook out there. I think it's an Audible exclusive, so I don't believe you can get it from the library. It is so good. So I listened to it once on my own. And then as Wes and I were driving somewhere, I put it on and Wes was hooked and we listened to it all the way through. And then Wes said, I would like to listen to it again because I feel like I missed so much the first time. So we listened to it a third time. Well, that was my third time, Wes's second time. And we just finished it up on the drive home from Oregon again. So if you're looking for a phenomenal audiobook, highly recommend Project Hail Mary from Audible, narrated by Ray Porter. And I guess I got there because I just started reading a book, and I was just thinking how long it has been since I have read a book. And so I'm enjoying it. I'm like, that's right. I love reading books. So I'm back to reading books again, and I'm so glad about that. And let's see, what else can I share with you? Do I have any more randoms? I don't know that I do. I'm not really doing a whole lot. I can tell you what I was contemplating doing today, which I didn't do. I was contemplating going to a Home Goods. I love a home goods store, a good home goods store, because I'm thinking I want a 40-ounce tumbler. You know how everybody's getting the Stanleys? Well, I don't need a Stanley, but I don't know which one to get. So I was thinking I should go to a Home Goods because they usually have them there and I could choose one. But then I didn't want to go because, there's people in places, and I don't know that I want a people today. And I was really thinking, well, I could drive up to Vacaville, and there's a Joann's store there, and they have yarn on sale. And then there's also a Michael's that has yarn. And then I could go to Home Goods, and then even a Cost Plus World Market, because who knows what's there. So that's what I had been contemplating. And then I was like, yeah, no, I'm good. I don't have to go, because if I go, I'm going to spend money, and yarn will exist in 3 weeks, and a tumbler will exist in 3 weeks, and it's not like it's urgent that I get a tumbler or yarn or whatever miscellaneous thing that I don't really need, but I just would love to have from Cost Plus World Market. And then maybe while I'm there, I would get myself sushi, because there's a couple good sushi places up there. And so I thought, yeah, no, I'm not going to go, because there's an easy way to save $50. Just don't go. And I'm so cozied up right now, reading my book and sitting on my couch. So that was possibly going to be my day today. But I decided to just stay home. And, had I gone on that adventure, I would not have recorded this riveting, profoundly entertaining episode for you. That's a little sarcasm, because I've really just rambled a whole lot to fill space. And hi, welcome to my life. It's just ordinary. It's an ordinary life. That is wonderful, that I love. I love my life. I'm so grateful to love my life, even when it is quiet. Even when it's about truck stops and salty chocolate and Jesus Band-Aids and different kinds of yarn. It's a good life, and I am grateful for it. And I am grateful for my time with you. So, my beautiful friend, I send you seeds of delight. See, I think one of the philosophies about things like delight is it can show up in anything. It doesn't have to be something huge. I mean, clearly nothing I've shared with you is big. Just these little mundane moments that delight me. Good truck stop, clean bathroom, great food section. Happy, I'm happy. Give me a good pillow, nice hotel, I'm good. Great Chinese food from a steam table, delighted. So here's to all of the sweet mundane moments that make the day even better. So thank you for allowing me to spend this time with you. I love you very much, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon. So thank you.